Hello, everybody. Evan here, and today I want to talk about an article I encountered which is called 21 Cold Hard Truths on What It's Like Growing Up a Girl. Not really an article per se, more of a compilation of tweets, all bearing the hashtag growing up a girl and or growing up girl. And for those of you who don't know, basically this hashtag is supposed to tie into facets of life for young girls, right? Pointing out things that presumably girls go through that young boys don't during the growing up process. Now, I thought this article was interesting because if you actually go and search the hashtag on Twitter, as I did, I found that most of the tweets were of a pretty lighthearted nature and pretty funny, actually, some of them. A lot of them were kind of self-deprecating, like pointing out some of the ridiculous things that girls might do, just as there are ridiculous things boys might do. And however, this article, as you can probably tell from the title, the 21 Cold Hard Truths. Okay, so these aren't going to be like daily observational things about small differences or quirks that young girls might have. No, these are going to be the cold, hard truths, right? So let's see what they are. And it's not really, as far as I can tell, it's not supposed to be facetious or ironic. The subhead under the headline is disturbing. So these are going to be disturbing. Let's see. And they're going to be cold, hard truths. Remember, these aren't just like small observations or things like that. These are going to be, presumably pretty profound, weighty things, right? I'll read the whole thing. Here's the actual article part. The rest of it's just compilation of tweets. Growing up a girl is hard. Not only are there periods and cramps to deal with, tell me about it, but lots of other things too that tend to fall under the radar when talking about how boys and girls are treated. Okay, boys and girls are treated. So, again, these will be things that seem to be going down the direction of pointing out some unfair treatment of young girls that young boys don't go through, right? I mean, that's the implication. Sure, girls and boys seem like they're treated equally, but as feminists have said over and over again, they're really not. And as we know, according to the modern social justice warrior paradigm, if you just say something over and over again, then it must be true, right? I mean, that makes sense to me. Otherwise, why would you keep saying it? These tweets from the recently trending hashtag, alright, blah, blah, blah. Let's just skip down to the tweets. Some were lighthearted, so she does acknowledge, she says some were lighthearted. To me, I think most of them were, the ones that I saw anyway. Some were lighthearted. Here's the tweet. Me, can I go to the bathroom? Teacher, yes. Teacher, why do you need to bring your bag? Right, so showing, it's kind of funny. It's like she had her period, right, and the guy didn't know. I mean, I don't know what adult doesn't know about periods. Sounds like something that somebody probably just said, without thinking, right? I guess that's why it's a lighthearted example. It wasn't like intentionally meant to embarrass her, presumably. Okay, so she acknowledges some were lighthearted, but she only gives one example. And it says, but really, almost all of them were just sad. ... Okay, so almost all of them were just sad. So now we're going to get into the really cold, hard ones. The cold, hard truths, right? These are the really weighty ones. These aren't going to be just those kind of small things that you laugh about and joke around about. No, these are going to be cold, hard truths, right? And remember, according to the premise of the article and of the Twitter tag, all of these should be things that only happen to girls, or predominantly maybe 99, let's say over 90% of the time happen to girls, right? Shouldn't be things that happen equally. Otherwise, it doesn't really fit the criteria of the tag. Okay, so let's get into it. Here's the next tweet. So, you have a boyfriend yet? At every family party. Right? Here's a good example. I mean, only girls get asked if they have a boyfriend. right? I mean, guys never get asked, young boys never get asked if they have a girlfriend. It's not something people just say to young boys and girls to make conversation. It's a targeted attack on women, right? By asking that. Yeah. Okay. Next one. This one has 4 examples. Sit with your legs closed. That's the first one. So this is, again, something that only girls have to go through. And as we know, it was women who had a law made forcing other women to close their legs on public. Wait, what? What do you... Hold on a second. What is this here? Says that it was actually men who have to, by law, under penalty of fine, keep their legs closed on New York City public transportation? Well, okay. I mean, that doesn't really fit this model of only girls get told. All right, let's just skip to the next one. Stop cussing. It's unladylike. Yeah, again, I mean, only girls get told to stop cussing. I mean, young boys are never told that cussing is ungentlemanly, right? Actually, we encourage boys to cuss, and especially to use cuss words to attack girls. We just tell them, hey, be sexist, and use all of your curse words on girls. That's actually what I was told as a child. But my parents are kind of weird in that way. All right, next one. Cover your bra strap. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that. Guys don't get told to cover their bra straps. At least I never was. I flaunted mine. Next one. Show less skin. Okay, and guys are never told to pull up their pants. Young boys are never told to stop sagging at all. It's only girls who go through this. And this is a cold... Remember, these are cold, hard truths. Cover your bra strap. I mean, I can only imagine the psychic pain that one must suffer when you're told to not show your underwear in school. I mean, it must just be so damaging for these young ladies. Okay, next one. Being told to take wolf whistling and sexual objectification as a compliment. Yeah, and again, this never happens to boys, right? I mean, boys never get catcalled or wolf whistled or whatever. Only happens to girls, and only girls are told to take it as a compliment. Okay, next one. Being made fun of for crying over a band that means the world to us, while men crying over sports teams isn't a big deal. Yeah, I completely agree with this one again. Anyone who cries over a group of individuals that they have no personal connection with is an idiot. I agree. We should apply that standard equally across the board. Next one. Getting asked if you're on your period whenever you get annoyed about something. Again, you can't argue with that. I mean, men don't get asked if they're on their period very much. And it's not like boys have another biological feature which gets picked on all the time when they have some inferiority. I mean, people never talk about a boy's penis, right, as a source of his bad behavior or personality defects. No, that never happens. It only happens to girls, right? Okay, next one. You hit like a girl. You cry like a girl. Well, I'm a girl. What did you expected from me to act as an elephant? Or just reading that makes me feel dumber. Yeah, but this is true as well. I mean, young boys never get told that they hit or cry like girls, right? It only happens to girls. So, again, another totally correct entry into this list. Next one. When boys mock you, hurt you, or make you uncomfortable, you're told that, quote, it's just because he likes you, end quote. Again, this never happens to young boys. I mean, I remember all those times when I was in school. Actually, I must have just been imagining them when girls were being mean to me, and I was told that it was because they liked me. I mean, this only happens to girls, right? Yeah. Next one. When you're walking alone by a group of guys and one of them shouts at you. Okay, again, this never happens to men or young boys, only to girls. Yeah, just like everything else on this list. In fact, everything bad in the world actually only happens to females. That's true. I'm going to keep repeating it until it becomes true. I'm going to use my social justice warrior abilities to repeat something into factual existence. And if you don't like it, I'll yell at you. Okay, next one. When someone tells you something you're doing isn't ladylike. Again, I mean, young boys never get told that something is ungentlemanlike or ungentlemanly. I remember when I was younger, when I would chew with my mouth open or use bad words or say something mean, I was never told that something was ungentlemanly or that I should be more of a gentleman. That never happened. It only happens to girls. Okay, again. Next one. Teacher, I need 4 strong boys to carry some things for me. Me. And then the me part is just blank. I guess that's supposed to represent sort of a blank, baffled expression. Okay, yeah, and this one is true as well. I mean, what is that teacher thinking, getting strong people to carry stuff? I mean, she should not worry about that. She should worry about being diverse, just like she should make sure to have at least one boy, at least one girl, and at least one transgender person, if available, and at least one non-binary. Okay, that's good. Instead of 4 boys. That way we have all gender spectrum, the whole spectrum represented. Preferably all from different ethnic backgrounds and or multi-ethnic backgrounds. I mean, we really don't need any whites in there carrying stuff, okay? That's just racist. And preferably different religious and socioeconomic backgrounds, okay? Don't just get the strongest ones to carry stuff. You might think that's logical, but actually it's not really helping to promote diversity. And remember, everything we do must be in order to promote diversity arbitrarily. Okay? Alright, next one. You're probably moody because you're on your period. Alright, well that's just a repeat. We already talked about that one. Next one. You are ugly without makeup. You are ugly with makeup. Stop being fake and try to be natural. Yeah, again, boys never get their appearance commented on. I mean, girls never comment on a boy's facial hair. You're ugly with a beard, you're ugly without a beard, you look like a young boy, you look like a wild bear or homeless person. I mean, those things never get brought up for boys, or weight, body shape, height, and stuff like that. Only girls have their appearance commented on. Because remember, all of these entries, according to the premise of this article, should be things that only girls go through. Okay, otherwise it would just be called 21 Truths About Growing Up as a Human Being. And as we know, it's not the case. Okay, it's human beings are not all equal because girls are grossly mistreated growing up, according to this article. Alright, next one. Me, burps. Boys. Ew, that's disgusting. Girls don't burp. Yeah, again, I mean, boys never get told that burping is ungentlemanly. In fact, we're encouraged to burp. I remember my mom, after I did it, my mom would always say, "Come on, son, burp louder. You can do it." That happened all the time, and I just felt like I could never meet those expectations. I was always a failure in my parents' eyes because I didn't burp enough or loudly enough. But yeah, I mean, that's just my own pain. I know I shouldn't be selfish and talk about that. We're focusing on the ladies here, okay? All right, next one. Another cold, hard truth, okay? Not being able to wear certain things because boys are too fucking lazy to learn how to control themselves. Again, I mean, this is, this kind of common sense safety tips are really sexist. Like, people shouldn't tell me that I shouldn't go down a dark alley at 4 o'clock in the morning in New York because muggers are too fucking lazy to control themselves. I mean, I shouldn't have to do that. I should be able to just do whatever I want and have no consequences. I mean, it's not fair. Next one. You can't do that. You're a girl. Yeah, boys never get told they can't do certain things because they're a boy, right? This only happens to girls, remember. Cold hard truths. Next one. You geeky faker. You probably suck at games because you are a girl. Beats them. You were lucky. Well, this is just wrong. I mean, no girl has ever won any video game against a man ever. This is just impossible. I don't know how the author of this article, did she not vet these things? How did you let that get by you, Miss Mandy Velez? For shame. I mean, where is the journalistic rigor? Okay, next one. When your uppity aunt tells your mom you're too old, in parentheses, got titties to play football, and you're the best on the team. I think this one was actually written by Icebox from The Little Giants, because she was, the best on a team of all men, yet the girl was the best one. I mean, that's the only example I can think of in history where that happened. Next one. When you're not encouraged to take STEM classes because science and math are for boys. Right, I mean, this is totally true. Like, as we know, there's been no efforts to encourage girls to take STEM classes, even though there was that recent study by the Columbia University, one of their little, feminist research institute within Columbia, that found there was actually a lot of bias in favor of women in STEM classes, or rather with hiring tenure track STEM professors. But that's not. Those are just those like annoying facts that get in the way. We're just gonna keep repeating this stuff over and over again until it becomes true, right? That's the social justice warrior ethos. Next one, being taught from a young age that my body is a distraction to boys rather than a vessel through which to live my life. This is true. This never happens to boys. I know my parents they always sat me down and said, you know what? Your body is a vessel through which to live your life. That's definitely sounds like something that a normal person would say to their child. So this is clear. All this stuff is evidence. I don't see how anyone can argue with this stuff. It clearly shows, here's the final sentence, looks like gender equality still has a long way to go. Yeah, tell me about it. All these things are happening only to girls and none of them to boys. Boys don't have any struggles growing up. We certainly don't experience any of these things. I can tell you that as a boy growing up. I never experienced any of this stuff. It's just, it only happens to girls. And, remember, these are the cold, hard truths. At least that's what the author of this article and her ilk would have you believe, right? Because remember, if you repeat something enough times, eventually it becomes true. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time.